Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to do a tutorial explaining click detectors and proximity prompts and all the things that you can do with them. So I'm just going to quickly show you this one. As you can see, I've got a click detector set up, and you can do things for when you hover over it. You could do whatever you want, and when you click it, left mouse button, I made it so it increases my coins, and right mouse button increases it by more. And then for the click detector, there's other things you can do. So you can detect when you first press E, when you let go of E, and when you actually fill out the whole thing, and boom. So I'm going to explain the code for that now, and you can play around with all the things that you can do. So on the right side here, we're going to have two parts, and I just made them both just a basic black color because I'm going to change it inside the script. And inside of them, you want to have a script and a click detector for one of them, and for the other one, you want to have a proximity prompt and a script. I did also make a quick script in ServerScript service for the leader stats, the thing that you saw in the top right. I can just quickly get into that if you want. So we just do a simple game.players.player added connect function. So this just fires all the code inside of it when the player joins, basically. And this is the parameter player. So this is the player that joined. So we just create a leader stats, which is a folder inside of the player, and we will name it leader stats. If you name it leader stats with a lowercase l, then it will show in the top right. If you don't want it to show in the top right, you could change this lowercase l to uppercase L, or you could just change this to a completely different name. It's up to you. Then we will just create a coins value, which is an int value, so it's only whole numbers. If you want this to be like a decimal as well, you can just make this a number value, but I'm going to leave it as an int value because I'm not really making anything specific. And you just want to put that inside of the leader stats. Then we will name it coins, and we will set it to a value of 0. This doesn't have a data store. This is just a simple quick tutorial, but I have made a video on data stores before, so if you want to learn how to do that, you can go and look at that video. Now I will quickly get into the scripts for these actually. So we're going to go into the click detector one first. Let's get in the script. I'll zoom in a bit more. There we go. So we'll just have two quick variables at the top, one for the part and one for the detector. And now here's where we actually get into the things that you can do. So for the click detector, which is only for like mouse things, you can do mouse click when you left mouse button click on the part or whatever object, or right mouse click. So this is when you click on the object with your right mouse button. And then you also do have these two other things: mouse hover enter and mouse hover leave. So this is when you hover on the part, like you saw there. I changed the color of it, and when you leave, I changed the color back to how it was before. And here you can really just play around. You could do whatever you want. So if you really wanted to, you could just like destroy the part. You could do so this is how you destroy a part. You could destroy the part. You could make it increase the value. Because as you can see here, I made it increase the value for when you click it and left click it. If you know how to make a door opening or something like that, you can do that when you click something. Like you can have a button, you click it, and it will open a door. Many things you can do with this. So it has a lot of uses. And this leader stats here. So you just put player in here as the parameter for all of these, because the player is the one that clicked it. So the parameter here is just who actually clicked it. And then we will just get the leader stats from the player, because the leader stats is inside of the player. That's what we created in here. I did accidentally just go into the other script, but in the leader stats we create the folder. In this script we create the folder inside of the player, and that's where the leader stats will be. So we just get the leader stats, and then leader stats coins the value plus equals 1. This just means it'll be equal to what it was before plus 1. That's all it means. It's the same as just doing it's equal to this plus 1. It's the same as doing that, but a lot shorter. And then I just did the same thing for right mouse button click, and you can play around with this. Now I'll get into the other script, and I will also go into like the things that you have in here. So for the click detector, you only really have one thing: the max activation distance. So if you want to have it so you can't press it from far away, you can just do that. So now I can't click it from here. I have to be a lot closer. See? I will set that back real quick. Like, see. There we go. Now, for the proximity prompt, let's first quickly go over the things inside of it. It's got a lot of things. Now, proximity prompts are made so they actually work for other devices. They work for mobile, and they work for console. As you can see by this gamepad code thing, you could change it to whatever you want the button to be for the gamepad. And then exclusivity, I'm actually not really sure what this does. It works how it should on one per button. I've actually not really tried these other two. So you could just search that up or something. I actually don't, never use that. It probably doesn't have that many uses. But for the main things, you just need to worry about the hold duration. The activation for this is for keyboard, so you can set that to whatever you want. I'm just gonna leave it at E. And the max activation distance, same thing as the click detector. And object text, I'm quite sure this means you could just like, I've never actually used the object text. This means that you can, yeah, you could change the name of the, like the text above it. I don't actually really use proximity prompts that much, so that's cool. And then some UI things, because it does like pop up a little UI above it, so you can play around with that. But the main important thing is the hold duration. So you can change this however long you want someone to have to hold before something happens. So if you just put it at 0, it will just be instant, as if it was a click detector. This is if you don't want to use a click detector, because you want it to be for like other devices as well. You use a proximity prompt, just set it to 0, and it works the exact same. So I'll leave that at like 1, because I did want to go into the holding began, holding ended, things like that. So it's quite similar. The same two things at the top, and we will do, this is how you detect when you finished holding the proximity prompt fully. You do dot triggered. So this fires when you held whatever key it was the whole way through. And connect function, same as usual, and you put the player in here. I'm not really sure why I did that uppercase. I mean the full name. Anyway, so you could just print this. For this one, I just made it destroy the part, as if you collected something. Yeah, you can, same thing as the click detector, you can play around with this, put whatever you want inside of it. Make it open a door, And here we have when you actually press E. So when you press E on it, it will fire whatever's inside of here. This one doesn't have to you don't have to hold it the whole way through. This is just when you first activate the key. I'll show you in the output when I press play again. And here's the same thing. When you release it, nothing to do with holding it the whole way through. It will do whatever code you want in here. So I'll quickly just show this. See, holding, because I pressed it, and it deleted because I held it the whole way through. But you can see, prints holding, prints release when I let go. So yeah. And these are the main important things for click detectors and proximity prompts. These are the main things that you're going to really use. So, and this is what I really use for, like for example, a couple of videos back, I made the leveling system, and I used a part really simple, just add a click detector to increase the value. It's good for testing things as well. Many uses. But yeah, that's really it.